Hey guys, what's going on? Joe with Lone Wolf Paintball, and today I'm going to show you guys how to build and customize your very own Proflex. But before we get into this, make sure you jump on the website, shoplonewolfpaintball.com, and check out pbswagbag.com. Use our code LWP10 to save 10% on your first order. All right, guys, going to jump on into this. So the Proflex goggles, JT, the brand, has been around since mid-90s at least. Started out as a racing brand. That was kind of the heritage behind the company and the motocross, and started developing in the paintball, and the rest was history now. JT's changed ownership a couple times over the years, but the cult following seems to just to grow stronger and stronger every year. So there's tons and tons of flex parts. We actually have a lot of these individual parts are available for purchase right now on the website. You can buy them all individually. Bottoms, ears, straps, lenses, frames, visors, all the types of things that you need to build your own very own Proflex. That is really one of the reasons why guys love them, is these parts are transferable all the way back to the original JT Pro Shield. The bottoms, the ears, the frames, the straps, everything still works. So so yeah, you'll see local guys at the field. They go, "Man, where'd you get that mask? It looks custom." Go, well, because it pretty much is. You know, guys have collected parts over the years. They'll buy a full goggle like this. They'll break it down and put that tiger stripe bottom on a different frame, and that frame with a different bottom, all the different swaps that you can do. That's why guys really love these. But today I'm going to show you guys how to build your own Proflex. So from the ground up, your lens, most important piece. That's what it's going to protect you. So frame, we'll start out with the white. Everybody loves the white frames. So you're going to put your I always put the lens in first. Always go nose first, guys. I pinch both of these together. This has to go up and in and get these two tabs to lock into these two slots. So right now, push them in. Usually go from the bottom, get it up in there, get the first one in, get the second one in.
And this is definitely the hardest part of the entire procedure.
Oh
that
yeah,
lens.
yeah. This one is, and this one, since they were just parts, has never even had a lens in it before. So that one's a little snug. Then I do the two bottom tabs around the bottom. I get that one locked in. I get this in the track. I get that one locked in. Then the very last part is you want to go across the top. Make sure it's all on the track. I try to get all three of them kind of in line so they pop in. Kind of got it up, and then I can push down. So, especially being the very first time, these are going to be pretty stiff. But once you change it a couple times, it will go quicker and easier. All right, so got the last one in. So as you can see, you got your frame in. So the nose first, you got those two tabs. Do your bottom two right there, and then work around the top. You get all three in the top. So next up, some guys throw on the strap with these new, like the old style ones that didn't have the spot to keep your strap in line. You could put the strap on and just clip the ears on if you got like the old Pro Shield hard ears. But these ones, usually want to put the ears on first, then install your strap.
Can we do a different color ear? Because the black on your black shirt just doesn't show up.
Yeah, sure. Instead of black ears, throw some gray on. Gray would look cool. So ears are specifically for the left and the right, unless you're using, there's some real cheap foam ears out that are kind of universal, but most of these now are made where they're going to hook into your bottoms. So you'll have your top screw. Top piece is going to hook in here, and then this bottom tab actually hooks in through the bottom there, and that's how it keeps everything in line. So usually I want to put the ears on first. The way the ears go, you got these two little notches that go into these two little notches, and then the hardware goes through the center. So I usually pop these in. Ears definitely tend to go on a little bit smoother. So got my one ear in. I want to put on my other ear. On this side, whoa, getting a little windy out here. Cool, so you got that in. You got both of, all right, so those are locked in. Then next up, you're going to have hardware. For the ears, you'll have 4 sets of screws. You got the Phillips head with the male end, and then you got your receiver screw. So usually I'll take those, pop that through. Some guys put them with the Phillips head out, some guys don't. I mean, you can pretty much do, you know, whatever way you want. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Usually, yeah, sometimes I change it up. This one I'll put the Phillips head on the outside. But like I said, that part doesn't really matter. Kind of comes down to just personal preference, but as long as you got the screw in. Lock that down.
How tight should you?
Just hand tight. Your old screws are usually just Phillips. These newest hardware they're putting out actually has it set up on the flat side that you can put an Allen wrench in to really hold it in place. But I just kind of hand tighten it down. I don't, usually like to go too crazy on it, because when you do want to get it apart, that can make things a little tough for you. Ooh. Put these back here so we don't lose them. So put the other piece in. Drop that screw in. Whoa.
Now, does the hardware come with the parts, or is it separate?
So if you buy a full goggle, obviously it comes with hardware. Usually when you're buying just the ears and all that, usually it does not come with hardware unless it specifically notes it. Some of the black ones we have do actually come with hardware. Most of the colored ones don't. But it will say right on the website, so that is something to consider. Most of the Flex guys got extra screws sitting around or another goggle. They're buying the parts. But yeah, that is one thing to check. If it doesn't specifically say hardware is included with the ears, it doesn't. None of the other pieces you need screws for. It's really would be, you know, just holding on the ears. So far, we got a pretty good looking goggle going. You got a gold lens, white frame, gray ears. Oh man, they're so comfy. What strap you want to throw on there? We do the brown one.
Sure, we're just making a Frankenstein mask.
Making a Frankenstein goggle. So these are kind of a universal style. You know, now all these goggles got fancy clips and all that, but the original was just these pigtails. So when you set these up, you want to go from the back. You want to put the one side, you know, some guys try and be cool and they'll put their strap upside down. I usually always put it the way it's printed so you can actually read it correctly. So the strap, you're going to pop in through the one ear. You'll pull that through. The other one, you're going to pop in through this side. You're going to pull that through. And then the pigtails. So to get this in, this piece of the strap goes into this little slot. So usually I kind of get behind here. I kind of pull the foam back a little bit so I can reach it. When I put these in, I usually try to go in on an angle. So I put like the one corner in first. Is usually what I'll do. Like I said, this one's probably going to be pretty snug since it's brand new. But it's kind of working in on an angle, slide it back and forth just enough so once you get on the other side, you can grab your finger in and pull it all on through. I've seen some guys use just a pair of needle nose or something to grab onto it. I usually don't, just in case you end up like ripping the stitching on there. But if it's an old strap that you don't care about too much, you can definitely do that. So bam, that's through.
I always find it harder to get the strap out than it is to put a new one in.
Yeah, this one, like I said, is extra tough since this was literally a brand new part. It's never even been installed. I give mad props to the dudes that put these together at the factory. That is, like I said, this was a brand new frame that's never had anything put into it. So it was a little snug. Definitely a little snug.
While you're doing that, do you have a favorite Proflex of all time?
My favorite one, I mean, probably the one build I usually wear the most is like the old olive clear frames. I put like an olive clear bottoms, olive frame, and then gold lens in there, and like one of the old racing straps. Pretty cool. That's the one I play with the most. But I always love the just stock off the box. The eyes goggles, those old series were pretty cool. So yeah, I always like the eyes. There's just so many, man. There's so many flexes. So now we got the whole upper assemble. We got the lens in, most importantly. We got our ears on, hardware attached. We got the strap on, pigtails through, nice and tight. Once you get it in there, you just kind of make sure this part's flat against it, so that way it can't pull out with those two clipped together. Makes it real tough. So now we got our whole uppers. Then we can throw in some bottoms. Do a black bottom? It don't matter. So the bottoms, you got 4 prongs. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
I can't
4.
see the black on your black
Oh,
shirt.
all right,
Sorry.
cool. Yeah, whatever. We'll go with white then. So white, 1, 2, 3, 4 prongs. You got these 4 prongs are going to connect into the bottom of the frame. In the bottom of the frame, you got 1, 2, they're on the outer side, and then 3 and 4. They're bigger holes. You'll see all these little vent holes, but the ones on the 2 furthest outside, the bigger ones, and these 2 big ones here right by the nose piece are where those are going to go. Typically, I usually just start kind of work left from right. I get the first one in on the far side. I come over by the nose. I usually look through the bottom, and you can make sure that you're getting it into that big peg. So get it into the big one. Bam, that snaps in. That one snaps in. And then I go over to the far side and complete the last one. So now my frame is completely on. Not a bad looking goggle right there. That's for sure. Frame, and then the last piece would be thrown in the hardware. These ones, when I do the bottom hardware, I definitely always put the flat side out. Like I said, these newest ones that JT released actually even have, which was cool, because there would be guys that would play with these goggles for 10, 12 years. They'd go to finally take them apart, and these little screws would be kind of rusted together. So when it was just flat on the one side and you're trying to use a Phillips head, that would just kind of spin on you. So it is really cool that JT added this spot for an Allen wrench, so that way you obviously can have dual torque. You can have one that's holding in place and the other to kind of crank that old rust if it's been sitting in mom's garage or basement forever. But yeah, the bottom ones it always looks better when you have the flat side out. So you put the flat side in, goes through there. You take your Phillips head side. Just kind of put your thumb on there just so it don't move around. And going back to like Mark said earlier, how tight. I just kind of do it hand tight. I just put my finger on the outside so it ain't spinning, tighten it up, and that's good. So like I said, again, you don't want to crank them on too much, and that way when you go to take them off, you'll have trouble. So other side. Bam. So now you got a complete goggle. Last thing would be throwing a visor on there. This little red one just for a splash of color. Like I said, it's a Frankenstein, but so when you put in the visor, you got 3 prongs similar to like on the bottoms. The very center one definitely goes in the very center of the goggles. And actually on these newer frames, so it used to kind of be just a guessing game, you know, where you'd put these 2 outer ones because you'd have so many holes and they're all about the same size. Actually on these brand newest frames, they actually have these outer holes marked with a little arrow. It's actually pretty cool. First time I've seen that. So the center one definitely goes in the center. The other ones will go, that has an arrow right there, that has an arrow right there. It doesn't really matter though. Like I said, they're all the same size. If you, I definitely do like that center string, but it's, you know, if you want one to the left or one to the right, it's not going to change anything, just your visor. But yeah, these ones now actually come specifically marked, so you can put it where the good flex lord intended. And bam, now you got a visor on there. So you got your complete goggle, chin strap now, that's a big deal in the NXL. All your original flexes never came with chin straps. Early 2001 started to come with it for, you know, safety standards. Guys back then, no one cared about safety. Everybody would cut them off. But nowadays, if you do want to play tournament paintball, definitely make sure you keep your chin strap on there so it's, you know, going to be usable for you. But yeah, so that is
chin straps comes with the bottoms, right?
Yeah, yep. All goggles, yeah, they'll all come with a chin strap if you buy the part or if you buy the whole goggle. They have to be released like that from the manufacturer. What you guys do with them after that, that's up to you at that point. But yeah, so that was pretty much an entire build of a flex. That's how all of these parts transform into a complete goggle. Put it on and you're ready to hit the field. So cool, guys. Yeah, just wanted to show this. A lot of guys are new getting into the sport. You know, they see all the talk about JT Proflexes, and they're just a little uncertain of how to build them, how to take their goggles apart, how to swap them out. And yeah, you know, obviously if you want to break it down, it's just the reverse of the process. You know, rip your visor off, undo your hardware, take off your bottoms, take off your ears, pull out the strap, pull out the lens, and before you know it, you'll have all of this. So.
And if you want to see a lens change video specifically, Tony and Caesar did one not that long ago.
Yep.
And one more question.
Yeah.
When are we going to get some limited edition Lone Wolf ones?
Hopefully soon. We've been working on some designs with some guys, so stay tuned. You might be Might be seeing a limited edition Lone Wolf run coming out. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and shop lonewolfpaintball.com.
See you.